A shop runs 3 tills, each on its own machine. Every till has to show the day's running total, fresh to the second. The usual way to get that is a second system beside the application, something the 3 tills call to agree on a number, plus the code that keeps everything in step. But this case does it with no second system and no synchronization code at all. And the whole trick? It's just a single word in a declaration.
A puppet is a character in a program, a named who, defined by exactly 2 things. First, his verbs, what he knows how to do, like sell or add. And second, his journal, the diary of everything he has done, written as sentences in order. That pair is his identity, not the machine he runs on. The vocabulary here is theatrical on purpose. Actors, a director, a cast, because these are characters playing roles, not servers.
There are 3 cashiers, 1 per machine. All 3 know how to sell. They have the same verbs, but each keeps his own journal. 3 completely separate stories. Cashier 2 never knows what Cashier 1 sold, and he really doesn't need to. They're 3 different puppets, not 3 copies of one. The bookkeeper is the character who keeps the day's totals, and he's written exactly like any other puppet. The only difference is the word used to declare him. The cashier is declared a performance V2. He lives on 1 machine. But the bookkeeper is declared a stage manager V2. He lives on every machine you place him on. Not 1 letter of his verbs changed. It's the same body, same logic, same journal, all written as if for a single machine.
And so the bookkeeper isn't 3 bookkeepers. He's 1 character with 3 bodies. On the first machine, he's the director, the only body allowed to write. On the other 2, he's a cast, a replica that never writes. The arithmetic is deliberately trivial because it's the arithmetic that makes the mechanism visible. Cashier 1 sells 1. Cashier 3 sells 3. And now Cashier 2 sells 2. That's the sale we're going to follow, all the way across. Follow Cashier 2's sale, step by step. 1. Cashier 2 records the sale in his own journal, his sale, his story. 2. On that exact same machine, the sale reaches his local bookkeeper as a command. It never left the machine. No network hop, no certificates, nothing to secure. 3. That local body is a cast, and a cast never writes. So it forwards the command to the director. 4. The director writes it. Because there is only ever 1 writer, there's absolutely nothing to reconcile, no merge conflicts ever, and no developer had to write locking or synchronization glue. And 5. The director's journal record replicates back to every cast, and each cast applies it.
Now the payoff. The 3 journals read the same, sentence for sentence. Each one begins by naming him, bookkeeper equals bookkeeper, then defines his verb once, define add amount, and after that carries only the sales, bookkeeper add 1, then bookkeeper add 3, and then bookkeeper add 2. Notice the order of those last 3. It is not 1, 2, 3, it is the order in which the sales arrived, and the one we followed landed last, which is why it sits at the end. A journal only ever grows at the end. Nothing is ever inserted in the middle to keep it tidy.
And notice what that last entry did. Before it landed, the total was 4. So ask him for the day's total now on any of the 3 machines, and he answers 6. 1 plus 3 plus 2, straight from the memory of the machine he is standing on. Nothing crosses the wire to answer that question, because that body of him had already applied the story. Ask him on the second machine. Ask him on the third. 6, 6, and 6. It's worth being careful with that sentence, because it's the rule of this whole case in miniature. A machine does not answer anything. A machine is only where you ask. The one who answers is the bookkeeper, and he is the exact same character wherever you ask him. That is the sentence worth keeping. Replication here is not copying state, it is sharing history. Nobody enumerated which variables to keep in sync. What traveled was never a variable, it was the journal itself. Just 1 small line per event. The verb add defined once, and then compact invocations carrying only their arguments.
Measured, that's between 36 and about 100 bytes per event.
If the local bookkeeper on my machine is a cast, and a cast is physically barred from writing, how does my sale ever get recorded? Doesn't the whole sale simply fail? It does not, because the cast is not asked to write. It forwards. The command travels to the director writes it once, and the record comes back. The counter never waits on a shared lock, and no 2 machines ever try to write the same total.
Applying is not recalculating. A cast is handed the story and applies it. It never works the total out again for itself. And the director writes, a cast applies. Those 2 are never interchangeable.
One thing is easy to state backwards, so it's worth saying plainly. The bookkeeper does hold the current total in memory. Current state is not thrown away. It is exactly what you read when you ask a machine for the total, and that's why the answer is instant. What crosses between machines is not that total. It's the history that produces it. The journal holds history, what was done, in order. It is not a store of truth, and it is not a snapshot of state.
Look at what never appeared in this story. Not one reaction. Nothing watched a journal and responded. Not one message between actors. No character told another character anything. And not one line of synchronization code. The application issued its commands, the engine replicated the record, and every machine read the answer locally. A developer had to write no glue at all for this, not a single line. That absence is the result, not the setup.
The cost of agreement does not disappear here. Someone still has to decide the order in which those changes are recorded, and that someone is the director. What changed is where that cost lives. It stopped being a separate system standing beside the application and became a character inside the program, where you can see it, read it, and replay it. One writer, local reads, and a shared history, instead of an argument about the current state.